job is to relieve pressure off of him. But I don't listen to what anybody has to say about my play or the play of my teammates. I do have a responsibility to play at a high level and help make things easier for LeBron. Shannon, I have a feeling you might like this. What do you make of AD's comments?
He's absolutely right, Skip, but this is what he signed up for. You know the expectations that come along when you tag along, when you team up with another great player, and that player happens to be on the Lakers. There are certain organizations that when you go to, the expectation is Boston, for the longest, Boston, basically it's Boston, well, not so much Boston now, but they're getting back. Jason Tatum is unbelievable. But the Lakers and the Celtics, Skip, they're royalty in the NBA. And when you go to those teams, it's about championships. It's not about, Western Conference and division titles. It's about titles, big titles. Larry O'Brien, the chip. And when you go there and when you play with those great players, that is the expectation. And he knew what he signed up for when he says, Rich Paul, I want to get out of New Orleans and I want you to get me to L.A. He knew what was going to come along with that. He knows the pressure. Skip, it's pressure. It's nothing like he's ever felt before because nobody thought Anthony Davis was going to lead the Pelicans to a title in New Orleans. But when you pair with that guy right there, and he's taking less teams, granted, now it was in the East, but he's taking teams with less talent to a finals. Skip, many believe he's the most talented player that LeBron has ever played with.
He is.
Now, D-Wade might have something to say about that. I know D-Wade is more accomplished, but okay, you want to nitpick and say AD is more talented, okay, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about titles. Can you and LeBron come together and win this thing? But Anthony Davis knew what he was getting into, Skip.
Yep.
Look, I expect you go to a school, Skip, at one of these prestigious universities, you expect to get a course load that's heavy. Don't be thinking, you go, oh, man, this is a breeze. No, that's not how it works. You went there with that guy. You know what to expect.
I completely disagree that he knew what was coming.
Oh.
There's no way to know until you get there and feel it. He's just now feeling it. His first taste of it was 2 nights ago because you can tell somebody all you want to tell them until they feel what it feels like to be on a floor with that guy when it really matters. It's like, wait a second, I'm not sure I wanted to sign up for this because there's nothing harder in sports right now. That guy, Anthony Davis, is in blame position A. In all of sports right now, he is on the hottest seat. He's in the biggest line of fire because it's hard to play with that guy, even though he can make it very easy on you.
Right.
But because LeBron is so beloved, it's too easy to jump on his co-star as the reason LeBron lost. And it happened again game 1.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Tuesday night.
And again, too often, AD in fourth quarters has stood for all done. He was all done in that fourth quarter. He gave LeBron next to no help. He made 1 shot out of 3. He took only 3, and usually he just marches to the free throw line. He got there one time and missed both of them. And it set the tone for the collapse at the end of the game. What was a 19-6 run over the last 7 minutes. Lakers up 6 with 7 minutes to go, gave up a 19-6 run. LeBron wasn't there, and that guy definitely was. LeBron was there more than AD was. He just was gone. He was all done by that point. So to me, I don't know. It's a be careful what you wish for because he says to Rich Paul, get me to Los Angeles. I love L.A. I want to play with LeBron in purple and gold, but you don't think about because you can't know what it's going to feel like. The regular season is one thing.
Yeah.
But, man, this is the hardest thing there is in sports.
Because, Skip, ultimately what you're judged by when you play with the Lakers is titles.
Yeah.
They're great. If you think about it, Skip, when you think about the Lakers, nobody in their team, the Celtics maybe have more Hall of Famers. But the Celtics Hall of Famers are not known like the Lakers. Kareem, Wilt, Kobe, Magic, Shaq. That's what he's up against. That's what he's up against.
He is.
And also, there's a guy that happens to be the logo that played in that organization, Skip.
He did.
So he had to, Skip, maybe he hadn't felt it, but he knew you had to, Skip, okay, if you go play for the Patriots and you play quarterback, Skip, what's the expectations? It's titles. It ain't no, man, I threw for 5,000 yards. I threw for 40 touchdowns. And we had a guy to do that too. We had a guy threw for 50 touchdowns, threw for 5,000, but he went to 9 Super Bowls and won 6. What are you going to do? We've had big guys to put up numbers like that. Kareem, Shaq, Wilt. What are you going to do?
Yep.
Are you going to stock the all I need, are you going to stock the fridge? Are you stocking the fridge with trophies? That's what they need to know in Lakerland. That's what they care about.
Yeah.
That's why their stars are so beloved, Skip. That's why they love Kobe and Magic and Shaq and Kareem. Because titles, if you want to be beloved, bring a title.
He is the most talented player LeBron has ever played with. Nobody loves Dwayne Wade more than I do, but Dwayne Wade was more intangible than tangible because he was about 6'5", maybe?
6'4".
Yeah, 6'4".
Yeah.
But you want to talk about heart and guts?
Yes.
And killer will?
Yep.
He had it all.
Yep.
And I still say he helped teach LeBron how to handle himself and how to win championships. Greatest thing that ever happened to LeBron was D. Wade in Miami. But this guy is we could give him 6'10"?
Yeah.
Not 6'11", 6'10" probably.
Yep.
Can pull up and shoot threes. He can shoot mid-range jump shots. When he is cooking, he will cook anybody.
Oh, yeah.
He is unguardable. Yeah. And Dwayne wasn't unguardable, obviously at 6'4"-ish, as you say. Yeah. So that guy's got the whole package.
Yeah.
He's like a free throw making machine until all of a sudden it was the fourth quarter of game 1 of the playoffs.
Right.
So I go back to, I rarely agree with anything Charles Barkley says, but he did say the other day, I don't know if he's that killer, if he's that guy who just says, I'm going to kill all y'all. LeBron at times has had that in him, but not consistently. That guy has never had it in him.
Well, Skip, he understands that my job is to make LeBron's job easier, and I didn't do that.
Okay.
He understands that's his job. And I think the thing is, Skip, when you are a co-star and the star is there, your job is to make it easier for him. And he's going to make your job, Skip, obviously it's easier if you're playing with the more great players you play with, the easier your job is. Yep. Because nobody can just double team and triple team you because they need to worry about him also. So clearly, this is the best player that Anthony Davis will ever play with. So how easy is his job being? But LeBron, but the thing is, Skip, you know, when everybody's talking about title, number 1 seed in the West, and you haven't played well, and then you didn't play well down the stretch, whether you're listening or not, you heard it. You don't got to listen, but you hear it. You hear what's being said. I told you he wasn't that dog. I told you he wasn't that guy. And if you're not, guess what? Your family hear it. Oh, no, it's going to get back to you. But I expect him to rise and shine. I expect him to stand at attention tonight.
He had better. He had better.
6'10" and a half.
Yep.
From Kentucky.
Well, all I know is the guy you call the GOAT occasionally needs a scapegoat, and that would be AD.
And
good luck.
And at point guard.
Good luck. Be careful what you wish for.
Vincent St. Mary.
Yeah. Okay.
All the intros, Shannon. You could have a side gig.
Look.
The intros. Yeah, sounds pretty good. How about this? Has Joel Embiid failed to do enough for the Sixers? That's next.